A flag officer is a commissioned officer in a nation's armed forces senior enough to be entitled to fly a flag to mark the position from which the officer exercises command. The term is used differently in different countries. In many countries, a flag officer is a senior officer of the Navy, specifically those who hold any of the admiral ranks. The term may or may not include the rank of commodore. In some countries, such as Bangladesh, the United States, Pakistan and India, it may apply to all armed forces, not just the Navy. This means generals can also be considered flag officers. In most Arab armies, Liwa, which can be translated as flag officer, is a specific rank, equivalent to a major general. However, ensign is debatably a more exact translation of the word. In principle, a flag officer commands several units called flags. General usage. The generic title of flag officer is used in several modern navies and coast guards to denote those who hold the rank of rear admiral and above, also called flag ranks in some navies. This also includes the rank of commodore. Flag officer corresponds to the generic terms general officer and air officer. A flag officer sometimes is a junior officer, called a flag lieutenant, a flag adjutant, attached as a personal adjutant or aide-de-camp. Canada. In the Canadian Forces, a flag officer is an admiral, vice admiral, rear admiral, or commodore, the naval equivalent of a general officer of the Army or Air Force. It is a somewhat counterintuitive usage of the term, as only flag officers in command of command-The formations actually have their own flags, and Army and Air Force generals in command of command-The formations also have their own flags but are not called flag officers. Base commanders, usually full colonels, also have a pennant that flies from the master flagpole on the base, when resident, or on vehicles that carry them. A flag officer's rank is denoted by a wide strip of gold braid on the cuff of the service dress tunic, 1 to 4 gold maple leaves over a crossed sword and baton, all beneath a royal crown, on epaulets and shoulder boards, and 2 rows of gold oak leaves on the peak of the service cap. Since the unification of the Canadian Forces in 1968, a flag officer's dress tunic had a single broad stripe on the sleeve and epaulets. On May 5, 2010, however, the naval uniform dark dress tunic was adjusted. Exterior epaulets were removed, reverting to the sleeve ring and executive curl rank insignia used by most navies. Commodore's uniforms display a broad stripe, and each succeeding rank receives an additional sleeve ring. There are no epaulets on the exterior of the tunic, but they are still worn on the uniform shirt underneath. India. In India, it is applied to brigadiers, major generals, lieutenant generals and generals in the army. The equivalents are commodore, rear admiral, vice admiral and admiral in the Navy, and air commodore, air vice marshal, air marshal and air chief marshal in the Air Force. Each of these category of flag officers is designated with a specific flag. India's honorary ranks are Field Marshal in the Army, Marshal of the Indian Air Force in the Air Force and Admiral of the Fleet in the Navy. United Kingdom. In the Royal Navy, there is a distinction between flag officer and officer of flag rank. Formerly, all officers promoted to flag rank were considered to be flag officers, and the term is still widely used to refer to any officer of flag rank. Present usage is that all rear admirals and above are officers of flag rank, but only those officers of flag rank who are authorized to fly a flag are formally called flag officers, and have different flags for different ranks of admiral. Of the 39 officers of flag rank in the Royal Navy in 2006, very few were flag officers with entitlement to fly a flag. For example, Commander-in-Chief Fleet flies an admiral's flag whether ashore or afloat, and is a flag officer. The Chief of Staff, a rear admiral, is not entitled to fly a flag and is an officer of flag rank rather than a flag officer. List of fleets and major commands of the Royal Navy lists most admirals who were flag officers. A flag officer's junior officer is often known as flags. Equivalent ranks in the British Army and Royal Marines are called general officer rather than flag officers, and those in the Royal Air Force are called air officers, although all are entitled to fly flags of rank. United States. Captain was the highest rank in the United States Navy from its beginning in 1775 until 1857, when Congress created the temporary rank of flag officer, which gave way to Commodore and Rear Admiral in 1862. The rank of flag officer was bestowed on senior Navy captains who were assigned to lead a squadron of vessels in addition to command of their own ship. During the American Civil War, the Confederate States Navy also used the term. The 19th-century rank of flag officer was considered strictly temporary and became obsolete upon the creation and widespread usage of the equivalent naval rank of Commodore. However, the term is still in use today, explicitly defined as an officer of the U.S. Navy, a Coast Guard serving in or having the grade of Admiral, Vice Admiral, Rear Admiral, or Rear Admiral, equivalent to general officers of an army. In 1862, Congress authorized American use of the title Admiral in the United States Army, Air Force, and Marine Corps. The term flag officer generally is applied to all general officers authorized to fly their own command flags, i.e., Brigadier General, or pay grade 07 and above. However, as a matter of law, Title 10 of the United States Code makes a distinction between general officers and flag officers. Non-naval officers usually fly the flags from the headquarters, vessels, or vehicles, typically only from the most senior officer present. In the United States, all flag and general officers must be nominated by the President and confirmed by the Senate. Each subsequent promotion requires renomination and reapproval. For the Navy, each flag officer assignment is usually limited to a maximum of 2 years, followed by either reassignment, promotion and reassignment, or retirement.